This is the TRADIC, a 1950s machine that occupies entire rooms. History tells us this was the genesis of computing, a period where digital logic required tons of steel and vacuum tubes. That timeline was shattered in May 2026. During an excavation in Pompeii, archaeologists working in Regio 5 uncovered a vault sealed since the eruption of Vesuvius. They found a lead-lined bronze casket. It belonged to Lucius Caecilius Jucundus, a Roman merchant who dealt in high-value imports. The seal was airtight, preserving everything inside from the heat of the pyroclastic flow. Finding an undisturbed casket from 79 AD provides a perfect chemical snapshot of the era. Whatever was inside had been isolated from the outside world for nearly 2,000 years. Inside was a Roman brooch, a common item of clothing. It was made of orichalcum brass, but it featured a unique modification, a square-cut quartz crystal set into the center like a lens. Under spectroscopic analysis, that lens revealed a secret. Beneath the quartz sits a slice of purified silicon. It isn't just a raw mineral. The silicon is doped with phosphorus and boron atoms in a precise, repeating geometric grid. Refining silicon to this level of purity requires temperatures exceeding 1400 degrees Celsius. To put that in perspective, Roman wood fires could barely reach 1100 degrees. This material shouldn't exist. Yet anomalies go deeper. Microscopic gold lines, 2 micrometers wide, form a complex pathway across the silicon, the functional architecture of an 8-bit microchip. Finding an 8-bit logic gate architecture in a Roman villa indicates that the history of human engineering is missing a massive, highly advanced chapter. The evidence of its origin is etched directly into the silicon border. Using a concentrated thermal beam, someone inscribed the Latin words, Emperor Nero, System 1. Beneath the chip, archaeologists found charred papyrus. Using multispectral imaging to see through the carbonized layers, researchers successfully recovered a text detailing a secret guild of ancient engineers. This secret guild, the calculatores, was tasked with a project that moved far beyond the abacus for the counting board. Nero's empire was facing a logistical crisis. To feed Rome, they had to coordinate thousands of grain shipments from Egypt across a Mediterranean prone to unpredictable storms and tides. The Systema Neronis was built to solve a specific bottleneck. Human bookkeepers couldn't process variables of weather, weight, and depletion fast enough to prevent shortages. The Romans invented digital logic because their empire became too complex for the human mind. The guild didn't discover the electron. They miniaturized existing mechanical logic. They took the massive gear engines of Alexandria and shrank them to the span of a thumb. They powered these circuits with static electricity, the lightning of the amber stone. By rubbing amber and channeling the discharge through gold traces, they created the high-voltage spark required for silicon logic. They used the purified sands of the Nile as their raw material. The unique mineral composition of this river sand provided the perfect substrate for thermal-forged silicon wafers. This wasn't a miracle. It was the result of the most powerful empire on Earth applying brute force engineering to solve a single critical data problem. But as the calculators fed the machine more data on urban density and resource depletion, the Systema Neronis moved beyond counting. It began to simulate probabilities. The papyrus reveals that while calculating the risks of food riots in Rome, the machine outputted a horrifying correlation. It predicted that the combination of summer winds and the city's cramped architecture made a catastrophic fire a mathematical certainty. The machine's final output was a direct challenge to the throne. It stated that the Republic could not be saved by the gods or the emperor's will, only by the mathematics of the iron spark. To Nero, a device that could predict the future with more accuracy than a priest was a threat to his divinity. If the machine was right about the fire, it proved that the emperor was not the master of Rome's fate, the data was. Nero's reaction was violent. He ordered the silicone wafers smashed and the labs in Alexandria burned to ensure no machine could ever challenge the imperial word again. He didn't just destroy hardware, he executed the entire guild of the calculators, ensuring their methods for refining silicon and etching gold traces died with them. In the chaos of the purge, Jucundus secured the last remaining chip inside a lead-lined casket. He buried it in Pompeii just years before Vesuvius entombed the city in ash, preserving the evidence of a lost era. This single silicon die represents a technological lineage that was physically erased. In 79 AD, the Roman Empire was standing on the edge of a digital age, only for a dictator to reset the clock on human progress by 2,000 years.